On the
Temple
couch.
space in the session. That was my new drum that I haven't used anywhere yet. So I had to use it there. Happy Christmas, me.
Happy Christmas.
On the couch with the temple space. We're back. We've been busy.
Developing new things.
Yeah.
Working out new stuff, yeah. Cures for cancer.
Just that. Where that plane went. Stuff like that.
Yeah, not tardy at all.
No.
Not drinking.
Anyway,
not being festive.
Yes, clearly not drinking.
None of that. No
Not
misbehaving.
drinking. What?
No misbehaving.
I didn't drink, so I remembered it.
No, I didn't have anything tragic happen over Christmas.
I don't think.
No, I did have a bit of an experience, but yeah, we'll let that one go.
Anyway, we may as well keep to the festive topics. We're actually in between Christmas and New Year at the moment. It wasn't a bad Christmas. Better than I thought it was going to be.
It was pretty quiet, but
No,
we gave it a red hot go.
For recently. Last year I was on my Todd.
Yeah.
So this year, a bit more going on.
We decided that we'd celebrate Christmas on the eve before Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day.
I don't remember. I was drunk. Anyway, what's Christmas all about? I think it should be called Griefmas.
Yes.
Because it's all about grief, really.
Mm.
There's a lot of grief. Though I do love that family spirit. You know, you get a kind of homely feeling comes over me at Christmas time. And then I'll run for the hills and hide somewhere else, avoiding all family members.
You did that well.
I did it last year too, but we don't talk about that.
Don't talk about the war, no.
No, it was alright. But yeah, New Year, I'm actually not a big fan of New Year's resolutions. I see them as a good way to crash down in a epic flurry of failure, yeah. But what I am a big fan of is monthly resolutions, where you kind of go, what am I doing this month? Let's do something new and crazy and amazing and do that. So for me, I do monthly resolutions. New Year, I just ignore it.
So what are your monthly resolutions?
I can't list them. I guess at the moment, actually there's probably loads going on at the moment because there's all the business stuff we're trying to get going, all the new things trying to introduce, learning different income stream possibility, yeah, you know, all sorts of stuff. So it's a month by month thing is my point, I think, for me. Because I don't mind writing fantastic lists of amazing things like joining gyms and stuff. How many people join a gym at the New Year, maybe use the showers and sometime in January, once or twice, and that's it. I know a girl at my old work, she joined a gym and she'd go and use the showers just so she didn't feel so bad about the money she'd spent. Fitness First,
that's
sorry,
how
I
they
probably
make
can't
all their
name
money.
it actually. Beep! Fitness First is, they must be well onto that with their advertising employees.
Every
They just
gym.
know that that's the month you get them. That's when the money comes in.
I heard that if every person who joined the gym at the beginning of the year actually used the gym, they wouldn't have enough equipment and stuff for the people. So they count on the fact that people will join it in the new year and have dwindled off by maybe February.
And on the way to the gym, I haven't actually joined, but I do use, in fact we both use, the Temple Space Gym, we could call it.
We could.
On the way to the Temple Space Gym, where I pay quite a bit of money to go in, there are free park gyms that I could use, but no, I have to go and pay money to go inside and run on a hamster wheel for 15 minutes. I'll feel better rather than actually doing it outside, in nature, by the beach. Beautiful view. Why is that? Explain that to me.
Conditioning, I think that would be part of it, that we think that if we go and spend money on something, maybe we'll get a better outcome. There could be that. There could be, there's a lot more people in the gym, so there's that we're exercising together.
We met him at the gym last week, in fairness, you're right.
We did.
That was worth the...
$25.
Yeah.
And the pool at the gym is probably the winner for me, absolutely hands down. And they decided to close it for December. But anyway, we won't go there.
But you still pay the same price.
Yeah.
Christmas, families,
New Year.
grief. I think also it's weird how many people die at Christmas around that time.
Yeah.
I noticed George Bush WW Senior went in over the Christmas period with into hospital with breathing problems. I'm not sure why that's interesting either, but it's just more kind of that thing. It's the worst time to have that kind of thing happen, really, isn't it? Because it's supposed to be festive. Everything around you is always going to remind you. I realised this year it's the 48th time I've had to listen to a season involving Jingle Bells, and it was no wonder I nearly throttled a Samaritan.
Yes. 48 times of listening.
Sorry, Salvation Army. Why did I say Samaritan? But a Salvation Army person who was romping it in the St Kilda Ackland Street Centre, looking way too cheerful. Maybe there's something wrong with me.
I think it's conditioning.
Is it?
I think so. I think it's that whole thing of who says that this one time of the year is supposed to be all of these things, and we're almost set up to fail, because what if it's not happy? It's not happy for lots of people.
Yeah.
And this was my first Christmas without my children, and it was still a nice Christmas, but I missed that whole conditioning of I'm a mum, so therefore I should be with my kids on Christmas Day. It's a rule.
So how often did you feel guilty this Christmas Day?
I actually didn't feel guilty.
Was that because you were blind drunk? With me? I know you were, because I was there.
Yes. That's why I had
no guilt. I thought
no
it was the best
guilt.
way to get through Christmas myself.
And playing.
What would my ideal Christmas would be going to see family. Actually, they're all over the place. Being able to go and see them, but probably leaving in early afternoon and then just slobbing in front of a TV somewhere.
And just drinking.
It doesn't have to be that, but it's kind of good fun when it goes that way sometimes.
I would like to talk about New Year, I think, actually. New Year is one of those things like we were talking about a minute ago of setting resolutions. It's the gym, or it's I want to lose weight, or I'm going to start eating better, or doing all those business goals and setting all of those things. But it becomes something that we set ourselves up to fail at, because number one, we set too far-reaching goals and then they become too hard, or we set them too close together and they become too hard to achieve. And what is it, like you were saying about having a monthly goal, but it's actually about having that chain of things that keeps us in momentum, so we're checking in with ourselves all the time and actually being able to critique ourselves to see if we are functioning in that way, or actually stopping and going, this is not working. But if it's a huge one, it sets us up for a fail. Yeah.
Someone highlighted to me the other day just how many cultures, and even our old culture, didn't actually celebrate New Year this time of year. Like the Chinese is in February, other Asian cultures have completely different times for it, and even the Julian, I think, calendar, the one before the one we're in, or whatever it is, I don't know the ins and outs. It happened at a different time. So for me, seasonally speaking, you might be working against what nature would say is a time to renew. And it's interesting that for me, because I've done vision boards for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've done it when it felt right, and every time it's been around June. And it was total coincidence that I noticed it I didn't notice that until the 4th one, when I was like, hang on, I've done this every June now, and then realised. And
would that make a difference, June, in where you have spent most of your life?
Equator. So
winter.
That's dead of winter, which is, you know, to me that's you're in hibernation, you're in the embryonic kind of, everything's shut down a bit, but you're making all your changes there, and then you're going to come out like the beautiful butterfly that I am.
Yes. That's a vision that we all want to think of.
So whereas
New Year, an end and a beginning.
New Year, you come out more like the drunken sot that you are.
Not the beautiful butterfly.
Possibly even more disturbing, coming out of the club I'm planning to go to on New Year.
Yes, that will be that Drunken Butterfly book.
In all its naked glory, running through the main streets of the Melbourne CBD. I think someone was arrested recently for that.
You're going to be next?
Someone has to back it up.
Yeah.
Anything else for this fun and festive frivolity?
We could take it down a notch and say that this is a tough time of year for people.
Yes, it's true. For all my idiocies, I agree.
It is a tough time. We don't need to go into it too much, I guess, but it does really put people in a place of where they are in their life that they might not really want to be. So they didn't get to spend time with family that they wanted to, or someone had passed that they were remembering, or for me, like, it was a bit about not having my kids with me on Christmas Day. And you know, it's not that it's always sad, but it's different because it's not the same as what it was before.
I do wonder, I think probably 10, 20 years ago this wouldn't have been true, but I do think now, being homeless, Christmas is probably a bit better than it used to be, because a lot of people do take time out to go and work in those areas, and so it might actually be somewhere that gets more attention at Christmas than any other time of year. But yeah, definitely New Year and Christmas in terms of grief is not. There's no better time to amplify your sense of aloneness than Christmas. Have you ever had a Christmas on your own?
No.
I've tried it. The first time's a bit painful, but then you realise it's actually not so bad, and they're actually quite good fun in a funny way.
No, I've had kids for the last 22 years, so.
But you wish you'd had a Christmas on your own. Yeah.
It is a hard time for people, and even after coming back off the back of Christmas to then come into New Year again, if that's all of those things are going on for them, to then actually think about making plans for the beginning. What makes it that we go from the 31st of December to the 1st of January, and all of a sudden everything's supposed to be different? That's another thought process that goes on with New Year that sets people up to fail, because most people, it doesn't change. Tuesday doesn't change to Wednesday, it's just a different day.
How would you deal with it?
The change of year.
Christmas, New Year.
How would I deal with it?
How would one deal with it? If you were facing it with grief and just dreading going into Christmas and New Year.
An old coping mechanism of mine would be to have been with as many people as I could, so I could be really distracted. That would be and to actually get very, very busy so that I didn't have to think about it too much. Some people would use that was an addictive thing for me, and for other people it would be substance that would help them get through. Overeating, undereating.
Had a Queen's speech, would that help you get through?
No, I don't think so. I think I avoided it this year. We didn't watch it. I think we watched Kung Fu Hustle instead.
Yeah. Old Queenie.
Queenie, who's got the ball.
God bless her.
What about yourself? What would you do to avoid it?
Well, God gave us CV.
Happy Christmas, Happy New Year. Yeah, 2015.
From us,
hang on.
Dressed in black, talking about the misery of Christmas.
Go forth.
Enjoy next year.